Hi, I'm Tracy Johnson from Cheese Needs and lead admin at Learn to Make Cheese, the largest group for cheesemakers on Facebook. And welcome to This Week in Cheese.
Now it's time for a top tip.
Don't believe everything you hear on the internet. Backslopping whey is a prime example. So somebody will come out with the idea that you can take whey from cheese A and use it to culture cheese B. And that can be done. That is true. That has been done for centuries. But you have to do it right. You can't dabble. You can't take whey from an Asiago that you're making on Monday, pop it in the fridge for a few days, and then use that on Thursday to culture Gouda, for instance. Doesn't work like that. So the way that it was done traditionally was the receptacle would generally be wooden. It's called a gerle, and it would be a large wooden vat. And that wood would hold on to some of the bacteria, and they would make the same cheese every single day with the same milk from the same cows, with the same microflora in it, the same bacteria every day. And they would take some of that whey and reserve it to use tomorrow just to reboost the next batch. That is an entirely different situation than having some whey in your fridge for several days that you used a previous batch of cheese on, and now you're throwing away all of that spare free culture. Culture is not that expensive. If you buy your cultures from me, they can cost you 40 cents per batch of 4 litres of cheese. That's really not a lot, 40 cents. You can't get a coffee for that. And that's Canadian money, by the way. It's 29 cents if you're in the States. My packages are $10 generally, and they will do 25 batches of 4 litres of cheese. So if you're shopping around for cultures, check what you're getting, what it's costing you, and work out what your per batch cost is. Because I think you'll find that actually culture is one of the cheaper elements of this. By far and away, milk is more expensive than the culture that you're going to use to turn it into delicious cheese.
And now a book review.
Today's book review is The Cheese Life. This is by Patrick Mcguigan, who is a well-known food writer and educator in the UK and World Cheese Award judge, and Matthew Carver, who owns a variety of cheese-themed restaurants, including the Cheese Bar London, where there is a conveyor belt of cheese and you just pick and choose what you want. In fact, it's called Pick and Cheese, which is delightfully punny, and I absolutely will be visiting the next time I'm in London. This book is packed with pairings. It has a whole bunch of cheese board information and ideas for you, what goes with what. So what Matt and Patrick don't know about cheese could fit on the back of a postage stamp. I would highly recommend this book. It's a very good read. There are pairings in here, there are cheese boards in here, and there are some amusing stories about cheese, a little bit of cheese history, and some amazing photography. So I highly recommend this. You can get it on Amazon or at your local good bookshop.
And now for a farm update. It's late November and we're still in mud season. Oh, I'm so sick of mud. I'm sure the girls are as well. So we've got the grown-ups, Goatsart, Willow and Pecan, and Sarah Jane. And then we've got the babies. You can see here the little black one is Ebony. And in the back there, the brown one is Hazel. Hey, Sarah Jane. So it's time to get the buck in for these guys in about 2 weeks. We need to make sure that the babies all reach 7 months old before they're exposed to a buck, just for safety. And we're coming up on that now. So I have a buck lined up from a friend of mine. And yes, I will repair the side of that building before they get here. And finally, the taste test. This week's taste test section is a little bit different. Yesterday I held my first cheese tasting and pairing evening at the local distillery. You can see we're here in the brewery. So I paired brie with dark chocolate, red Leicester with sharp green pickles. There is a cheddar there which I paired with salt and vinegar crisps. There's a smoky Gouda, which we had some grapes with. The blue cheese is a Roquefort, which we had with a peanut butter cookie. And lastly on the board there is yesterday's, which I infused with some of the beer from Crossroads Brewery, which is where we were holding it. And I paired that with clotted cream, a blackberry, and some maple syrup. What do you have on your cheese board this week? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for joining me for This Week in Cheese. See you next Wednesday.